Everyone, in this video, I'm going to show you what it's like to hike to Grand View Point here in the Big Bear area in Southern California. Now, there's a few ways to hike up here. I'm going to show you probably the most popular route on the Pineknot Trail. It's about 7.5, 8 miles round trip, just over 1,000 feet of climbing. So it's some climbing, but it's actually not too bad because it's spread out over quite a long distance. So what that means in practical terms is if you don't want to do a big mountain climb, but you're okay just climbing a little bit, you can hike up to this very spectacular point, Grand View Point. There's San Gorgonio, where the views are grand, of course, and get this nice experience of visiting this viewpoint here, I guess you'd call it. But anyway, if you're going to do it, just go to HikingGuy.com, where I have a full guide that talks about parking and maps and all of that. But otherwise, in this video, I'll show you the turn-by-turns. And if you're liking the video, if you could do me a big favor and just click the little thumbs up, helps me out tremendously, helps other people find the video, hopefully do the hike safely. So thank you in advance for that. All right, let's hit the trail.
All right, so the hike starts at the Aspen Glen picnic area, and it is a fee area because there's a bathroom and picnic benches, and they like to charge you for that. But the actual trail is right across the open clearing here, the open picnic area. And if you go across the clearing, you will see the trailhead right here, along with the official sign, Pineknot Trail. It's a good sign, we're in the right place. And here are some of the newer signs that we're going to see along the trail as well. There's also this older sign that has an incorrect distance on it. It's close, but not quite what it is. And you'll see some of the new and old signs as we head up the Pineknot. Now, the beginning is the trickiest part. Right from the beginning, there's a split. You're going to want to bear to the left here, and you'll see the one going down to the right. All of these trails probably end up in the same place eventually, but there are a lot of used trails. But we're basically going to go to the left and kind of do a big loop around the gully. This is the official trail. But again, you can see off to the right, there are a bunch of cutoff trails, but let's just do it the right way. We'll go around the gully, come around. You'll see a trail going back up to the left. That's the old trail. For some reason, we're not using that anymore based on the way the signs are set up. So instead, we're going to go straight and leave those confusing used trails behind, and then once we round the corner, it's just the trail for the most part. Now we're going to come up to this intersection. That's that trail back up to the left we saw before, but you'll see a sign right here. We're heading up towards Skyline Road, and that's going to be kind of our next major destination as we hike up. Now we're going to start hiking uphill, and it's a beautiful shaded hike. You know, it is uphill, but there are rolling sections, and even the uphill sections aren't that tough. So it's doable by most folks, beginners included, as we go up here. Now, there are a lot of cutoffs in this beginning section. You can see off to the left, they've been blocked off by these logs here. Just always look for the longer switchback trail, which you can see here. We're back up around those logs, and you can see it's continuing around the cutoffs there. Once we pass that, beautiful views of Big Bear Lake, which you will get intermittently as we do the hike. And also you'll notice the trail is not really going uphill. I mentioned earlier it's rolling. There is like a little downhill section in the middle. And all of these gradients are very, very easy, so it's not a big deal to get back up on the way out either. We're going to come to another junction here. You can see some of the old signs mixed with the new signs, which I think were adopted by the local cycling association. It is a popular trail for mountain bikers too, so just be careful as you hike here, but usually I don't have a problem. And from here on out, we're going to pass this bench with some nice views, and we're going to start going uphill basically until we get to the next Forest Service road. And again, you can see what the uphill looks like. It's a pretty gradual, nice, long uphill with nice sweeping curves. And you can see, as you hike up, you'll be able to see the trail curving around ahead of you here. Overall, a very pleasant and shaded hike. And we're going to continue to go up. There's a little trail joining in from the right there. We're going to pass that and keep on going straight up the hill, which isn't much farther at this point, not too much farther here, until we get up to the road. This is called Knickerbocker Road, and we're going to make the quick left and then a quick right. We're just going to be in the road for probably 30 seconds, and then we're going to make this right to continue on the Pineknot Trail here. And at this point, you're pretty much done with all the climbing. There's a nice bench. It's pretty level and really easy to cruise on once we're up here. A little climbing towards the end, it'll show you, but otherwise, you're pretty much done with it all. Now here we're passing the Deer Group Campground. It's a one tent site or one site campground that you can book out and have a big group of people there. And once we pass that, we're going to pass the little access road to the deer camp right there and keep going straight. And eventually we're going to come out kind of along the road here that goes to the campground. We're going to be right above it as it heads up to Skyline Road, which is not too much farther. You can kind of see through the trees there. Where the blue is the end. And here we are on Skyline Road. And we're just going to cross over the road. There's a little viewpoint that we can visit before we get to Grand View. And it's just over on the left-hand side there. So let's go check that out. We're just going to cross, and you can kind of see there's a little, that's the trail, and then here's the viewpoint. There's a little interpretive sign display. And this is the viewpoint right here where we can see San Gorgonio. It's a little teaser of Grand Viewpoint, which is only about a quarter of a mile ahead. So we're going to do that, then head back down to the trail. You can see there's really well documented trails here, lots of signs. It's really easy to get around. There's the sign for Grand Viewpoint. We're just going to head up, and this little stretch is uphill. It's not anything crazy, but it is probably steeper than your last mile or so. I'm just going to continue uphill as the trail winds around, kind of turns around to the left towards Grand Viewpoint. And eventually you're going to see this tree around a pile of boulders. This is Grand Viewpoint. Now if you keep going past the tree here, there's a little interpretive display. There's the beautiful panoramic views of the high peaks of the San Bernardinos. There's a little bench you can enjoy it on. The interpretive display will tell you what the peaks are, but generally you're going to see San Gorgonio, Anderson, Jefferson. All of the high peaks of Southern California will be in your view.
So that's it. That's what the hike is like. Once you're up here, you enjoy the views and just head back down the way you came. Now, if you stick around for a second, I'll show you a video of what the hike looks like on a 3D map so you can kind of get a lay of the land. But otherwise, guys, I will see you out on the trails. Bye.
All right, so the hike starts just outside of Big Bear Lake, which is right here. Here's the lake, and this is Grand Viewpoint, and the mountains that you get to see are these high mountains over here, San Gorgonio. So that's what we're going to see from Grand Viewpoint. And if we come on down here, the hike starts at the Aspen Glen picnic area. And the beginning is a little tough because there are a bazillion use trails, and I'll talk about that in the guide too, as you saw in the video. But basically, this is that little wide turn up the gully that we're going to do. And then from there, we climb up and up and up. We have this little downhill that I mentioned earlier. And then we gently climb all the way back up. Here, this is where we cross Knickerbocker Road. Here's Deer Camp. And this is all flat right here. And if I go like this, you'll be able to see better. There we go. As we hike up to Skyline Road, which is right here. Let me see if I can actually see the mountains. There we go. Look at that. That's the view you get right there of these mountain ranges. But anyway, here we cross Skyline Road. There's that viewpoint, and then we hop back on the trail, do this last little uphill to Grand Viewpoint. Now, Grand View Peak is actually up here if you look at a topographic map, but we don't go there. It's not part of the official trail, so obviously you can go off trail and hit that yourself if you'd like to. But this is the official point right here, and that doesn't do me a lot of good. Let me zoom out real quick. But here you can see we get these sweeping, there we go, kind of sweeping views across the valley there of all of those peaks, and that's the hike.